Hello everyone and thank you for tuning into TradeChat. My name is Panzer and today I'm going to be talking about my predictions for BlizzCon 2016. I hope that you enjoy this video, and if you do, remember to rate it thumbs up. So the first thing I want to talk about in regards to BlizzCon 2016 predictions is who is going to be performing at the closing ceremony this year, because I think that's always like a huge deal and people get really excited about it, and there's always I feel like you never know who it's going to be, right? Because last year it was Linkin Park, but the year before that it was Metallica, and the year before that it was Blink-182, which was really random, and before that it was the Foo Fighters, it was Tenacious D, Video Games Live, Ozzy Osbourne, I mean, all over the place. You just kind of never know what you're going to get. It's like a box of chocolates, as Forrest Gump would say. But anyways, I feel like this is always a really fun thing to speculate on because, I mean, it's just fun. I don't think I have to explain why it's fun. It's just a fun thing to speculate about. And when I was preparing for this video, I did a little Google research to see what other people might be thinking. And I was really surprised that people were throwing out suggestions for bands that were literally incapable of being where they wanted them to be. Like, I saw people saying, like, 21 Pilots. 21 Pilots is on tour. Like, they're not going to be anywhere near California. Not possible. I saw a bunch of people say Tool. I saw some people say Five Finger Death Punch. They're also on tour. That's not super possible. I saw Rush was mentioned a few times. It was kind of, I feel like it's the same little group of bands that get suggested every year, which is Smashing Pumpkins, Nine Inch Nails, and Tool. It's like every year I see those three always come up. And then there were a few other here and there, but most of them were not super realistically possible, and that's just because of where the band is located, if they're on tour, if they have other obligations. So when I was doing my research, to support my theories of who it could possibly be, I made sure that all these people would actually be available to play BlizzCon if they were the person that Blizzard asked. I don't know if that makes any sense. But anyways, let's talk about who the potential candidates for the BlizzCon 2016 closing ceremony actually are. So my very first prediction of who could be playing at the closing ceremony at BlizzCon 2016 is Weezer. And that is because they are currently on tour and they have a gig in LA on the 3rd, but then they don't have a gig for like a week. So they're going to be in full-blown tour mode. They're going to be in the area. They're going to be available. And I also think that Weezer is one of those bands that's like just mainstream enough where they will be well received without having like this like super intense fandom and this super intense hatred. Like when Blink-182 played, the people who liked Blink-182 were all about it, but people who weren't like hardcore fans of Blink-182 didn't care. Like the whole area where you could watch Blink-182 wasn't even full. Whereas like when Linkin Park or Metallica played, there were no seats left in the house. And I think that if it were Weezer, we would see a no seats left in the house as opposed to that polarizing figure like Blink-182 was. So that is my first guess. My second prediction for who could possibly be playing at the BlizzCon 2016 closing ceremony are the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Now, they are not on tour currently, so they're not exactly in like full-blown tour mode like Weezer is, but I mean, they've been playing shows for so effing long that I'm pretty sure they're always in full-blown tour mode and that they could get their stuff together and play a show. They're in the area, they live in California, they also just dropped a new album, they're going on tour next year, so I feel like it would be a good time to kind of like, do a thing and get in promotional mode and kickstart stuff. I don't know. I would really like the Red Hot Chili Peppers to play at BlizzCon, so this might be my most selfish of the three. This is probably my most selfish prediction, because I'm not so much sure if it's a prediction or if it's just I really want this, Blizzard, please. And my third and final prediction of who could potentially be playing the BlizzCon 2016 closing ceremony is Panic at the Disco. Now, they are not, I say they, but it's really just Brandon Urie and whoever happens to be with him at the time. It's a weird situation with that band. But anyways, they are not on tour right now. They're starting a tour in 2017, although Panic at the Disco is scheduled to do a live performance in the area just a week before BlizzCon. So I feel like they're there. They're going to be gearing up for a tour, preparing to do a lot of performances. They're already conveniently located. I think it's a real possibility. Although I do worry that Panic at the Disco might be a polarizing band like Blink-182 was. They didn't start making music until I was in high school, so they haven't been around much more than... It's weird to think that like a 10-year-old or 15-year-old band isn't like oh, they haven't been around that long, right? But like the Red Hot Chili Peppers have been making music since I was a small child. Weezer has been making music since I was a little kid. So like comparing Panic at the Disco to these two bands seems like they're a younger band. But I do think that they could be a more polarizing figure in the way Blink-182 was, where you'll have these people who, you know, listen to them or currently listen to them and really, really like them. And then you'll have this generational gap of people who are like, who the hell is Panic at the Disco? So I'm not sure if that is the most realistic of the three for that reason. So I guess in summary, out of my three potential BlizzCon performers, I would say Weezer is probably the most likely to be performing at BlizzCon, with Red Hot Chili Peppers coming in second and Panic at the Disco coming in third. I definitely think it's going to be one of those three bands, though. But if I'm wrong, I hope it's an awesome band. I hope if I'm proved wrong, it's like, oh, we're getting the Foo Fighters again. Oops. And I'll be like, darn. Darn. But yeah, so I'm excited anyway. Like, it doesn't really matter. I'll go watch whoever it is. I mean, it would have to be a pretty terrible band for me to be like, nope, I don't want to see them in concert. I want to see everybody in concert, because I feel like even if you hear stuff on the radio or on, you know, watch YouTube videos of their music videos, stuff like that, I feel like you don't even know a band until you've seen them live. Wow, I'm going to stop now, because now I just sound awful. I don't want to be friends with me either. Don't worry. Moving on to other things that have nothing to do with music at BlizzCon, I think that we will be hearing an announcement regarding the Warcraft movie. I don't know if it's going to be, here's the 40 minutes of footage that were cut, they're now available on this special edition DVD, or this stream, or this thing, or if it's going to be Warcraft movie sequel. And I know some people think that this option is not possible because Warcraft movie didn't do well in the US, but it did remarkably well overseas. It broke all sorts of records in China, not just for its box office sales, but also for it's like the highest amount of money that was ever paid by their version of Netflix for the streaming rights. And that was a convoluted way to word that, but I think you get what I'm saying. So I definitely think we're going to get a Warcraft movie announcement. It's likely going to be a sequel, but I would love to hear more about that 40 minutes of lost footage or a director's cut or something like that. I would love to hear about Duncan Jones getting more creative freedom going forward, because I still stand by that. I think the Warcraft movie was a good movie, and I would love to see what we missed from it, because I think the things that people are complaining about are things that Duncan Jones wanted to be in the movie, and he just didn't have the creative control that he wished he would have had. So yeah, Warcraft movie at BlizzCon. Things will be happening, I promise. As far as games go, I think the biggest announcement we're going to get from BlizzCon this year is going to be the new Diablo 3 expansion. I think it's going to be called Realms of Evil, and it's weird to me that no one is like freaking out about this, because I was just, you know, on the interwebs. Here's my mouse. I'm just scrolling through the Blizzard BlizzCon sale page, and there's this t-shirt that's called Diablo 3 Realms of Evil t-shirt. Like, that's not the name of a t-shirt. It is formatted like an expansion title. It's formatted the same way you'd see World of Warcraft Legion, Diablo, Reaper of Souls, you know, Starcraft 2, Heart of the Swarm. Like, it is, in the way it's formatted, it looks like an expansion, and I think it is, and I don't know why people aren't freaking out about that. And I think a lot of people are still on the hype train of like Diablo 4 and the DICE conspiracy that was going around, which if you haven't seen, I'll link it in the info below. But I definitely think it's an expansion. I think it's going to be called Realms of Evil, and I'm going to play the shit out of that game. I also think that Starcraft 2 is going to get a huge expansion at BlizzCon this year. I feel like Blizzard is very esports centric, and even though like Overwatch and Heroes of the Storm have sort of like taken the limelight for the time being, StarCraft is still like their original little baby esport. So I feel like we're going to be getting a big StarCraft announcement this year. I don't know that it's going to be an expansion, because we already have Wings of Liberty, Legacy of the Void, and Heart of the Swarm. So I'm not sure that's going to be an expansion, but this year when they announced the digital stuff that you get for the virtual ticket or for attending BlizzCon in person, the StarCraft section said mystery goodies. And that makes me think that whatever you're getting, whatever those mystery goodies are, they don't want to say what they are, because it would spoil the announcement they're making at BlizzCon. So I don't know if it's going to be like a story mode or some sort of new game mode inside of it, or I don't know. But I definitely think there's going to be some sort of StarCraft announcement, and I don't think it's a whole nother game. I think it has something to do with the game at hand, because it didn't say like StarCraft goodies. It specifically said StarCraft 2 goodies. So I think there's a StarCraft thing coming. I don't know what it is, but we'll see. So I feel like Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, and Overwatch are probably going to get the least exciting announcements and the most predictable announcements. We're going to hear about new maps, new game types in Overwatch and in Heroes of the Storm, new heroes in all 3 games, and I think that I think that Hearthstone will either get an expansion or an adventure mode, which I feel like they rotate back and forth, and I don't know what the last one that came out was because I don't really play much Hearthstone. But I feel like none of those announcements are going to be super exciting. I think the most exciting thing we'll hear out of all 3 of those franchises will have to do with the Overwatch animated shorts. So hopefully we'll either get a new one at BlizzCon or they'll announce the next one at BlizzCon because we haven't had one in a while. And I love them and I miss them and I want them to come home to me. As far as World of Warcraft goes, I don't see them making any major announcements. We're pretty fresh into Legion. We also know about a lot of upcoming content, so I don't know that there's going to be some huge World of Warcraft announcement. I hope I'm wrong. I do. But I think that we'll probably get a more solid date on 7.1. Maybe we'll get some more information about Nighthold. Maybe we'll even get a little information about 7.2. But I don't think we're going to see like an expansion or anything like that. That would be very surprising to me. Maybe they'll announce what did they call them? Not legacy servers, but pristine servers. Maybe that will be like the big BlizzCon announcement is pristine servers. But I just don't see a huge World of Warcraft announcement with everything that's going on right now and the hype for the game being so strong. I don't think it's something that's necessary or really like in the time frame to make a lot of sense. Like you don't really announce an expansion when you're not even into the first patch of the expansion you're on, you know, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I do think that we'll probably get a new charity pet or a charity mount, probably to benefit Hurricane Matthew, if I had to guess, because they like to announce those types of things at BlizzCon. But other than that, I don't see a whole lot of like wow stuff in our future. I would love for them to do some new cross-promotional stuff, like, you know, if you buy whatever that new Starcraft thing is, or if you buy the new Diablo expansion, you get something in WoW, or if you get a year of WoW, you get the other thing for free, which they should probably do with Starcraft right now, because no one really plays that anymore, RIP. But overall, I think that the big announcement this year at BlizzCon is going to be Realms of Evil for Diablo 3 and whatever that Starcraft 2 announcement is, and I think everything else is just going to get fluffy, fun announcements, but not groundbreaking, blow your mind announcements. Although, I'm happy to be wrong. I would like the record to say anything I'm wrong about, good. This is supposed to be a secret. It's supposed to be hype. We're supposed to be excited, and predicting everything 100% perfectly kind of takes away from the excitement in my opinion. But anyways, I would love to hear what your predictions are for BlizzCon 2016. Let me know in the comment section below. Who do you think is performing? What type of announcements do you think are going to be made? Will Chris Metzen be there? He better be. I think that when BlizzCon, when they do the opening ceremony, I would bet money that Chris Metzen comes out first. I don't know why I think that, even though he doesn't work there anymore. I just feel like that would be the best way to start, right? Like that would be the most hype thing ever if he came out and was just like, geek is. I'm thinking about quitting my day job and actually becoming Chris Metzen, but it seems like there would be a position to fill here, and I don't want to screw over my coworkers. That's a joke. I don't have coworkers. Anyways, I'm going to go. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you're having a wonderful day. I love you all. You're in my hearts. I'll see you soon. Goodbye. 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 Of course, over the years, we've had lots of different bands play. Last year, it was Linkin Park. Before that, it was before that, it was Blink-182. Then Metallica. Then, wait, no. Yes? No. And the way their schedule is, it could be a thing. It could be a thing. Plus, everybody loves the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like, have you ever met somebody who's like, fuck the Red Hot Chili Peppers? Like, no one hates the Red Hot Chili Peppers. You might not love them, but like, no one hates the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Who could potentially be that? And the Protoss one, the Ire one, what's it called? Damn it. I guess if we haven't had the release of Sombra yet, we might get Sombra at BlizzCon, although I'm going to be totally honest, I think they waited too long on Sombra. I think that the hype was really real, right? Like a long time ago. And then the clues that they were releasing were so comically difficult to decipher that people like me who aren't into like coding and stuff, I just didn't feel in on the joke. I felt like I couldn't even make videos about it because I couldn't explain to you like how these clues worked or how people found them. Like I don't know. It's way over my head. So I feel like there was a point in time when the hype train was like full force, and since then it's just really sort of tapered off and died down. And I think that they waited too long or they started hyping her up too early. I don't know which one it is, but I'm not even excited for Sombra anymore. I know that's terrible. So I don't know if Arena is out and Heroes of the Storm yet, because I've barely played any of that lately. But if it's not out, hopefully it'll be out. I don't know. We heard about that last year. Again, I feel like you have a time period of hype and you have to be very careful not to like you make that time period go on too long, because if you go slightly too long, people lose interest. And Heroes of the Storm was a game that I played a lot when it first came out, and then when Overwatch was an option, Overwatch was just more fun for me than Heroes of the Storm was. I also feel like the Heroes of the Storm community is horribly toxic, like 10 times worse than Overwatch or anything like that.